Welcome back to the homestead. It's a Monday morning. I thought I would bring to you a little bit of what we are doing to get our animals ready for winter, ready for breeding, and yeah, come along, let's talk about the animals. We have gone from warm and comfortable temperatures to cold, and that's just the way it is in the fall. We're actually having a very randomly sunny day. It has not been sunny, and they say that West Michigan is having the gloomiest fall that it has had since 2009. So having the sunshine, it's been amazing. But let's talk about the animals. So in my last video, I talked to you guys about the pigs and that we still hope that Pickles is pregnant and all that, and that the babies were good and that they were moving and they seemed healthy. Well guys, she had her piglets. So fun. They are so big. Even at just a week old, it is shocking how big they are. She is such a good mama. There'll be tons of piglet spam on my Instagram. If you don't follow me there, do. And also, if you don't subscribe to our YouTubes, go subscribe to our YouTube. So let's talk about breeding and these guys. So Pickles had her babies. They are just too cute. They're a combination of large black and Berkshire. Large black would be considered a meat breed. The mamas get huge. I've seen some really big ones. And then Berkshire is another meat breed. And these are both heritage breeds. We are trying to stick with heritage breeds. It's our goal to have heritage, non-GMO, pasture-raised pork. Futuristically, we don't know what that's going to look like. I mean, obviously right now we're moving into winter, getting the stalls set up for them. I'm sorry, I'm very distracted by their little cuteness. How can you not be distracted by that? So Bruno, our boar, had bred Denise, and she had that litter of 10 stillborn babies. We still don't know why. We have no idea why they were. When Pickles had her babies, Joseph even said, "Hey, I'm now with you. They weren't developed right." I was like, "Yeah, Denise's babies were not developed right." But we're hoping that Pickles' sister Pepper is also pregnant, but we can't tell. Like, it is not obvious. We don't know when she was bred. Why we don't know when she was bred is because we've had the boar living with them, and we figured because he wasn't mounting them anymore that was done. We are going to bring over our other two pigs, a Gloucestershire Old Spot and a Cooney cross that was actually part of Denise's first litter, and we're going to breed them with Bruno and just see how many piglets we can get for next year. Obviously, because we have to be off of the pasture property that we have by the end of next year, we want to use it without overtaxing ourselves. And pigs is an easy way for us to do that. We have a spot to put the meat, and we would love to start doing more pig shares or even CSA pig boxes. And so moving forward, we do want to go ahead and keep breeding, and we want to get those guys bred. The next set of animals that we decided to go ahead and get bred so that the timing would work with things we have going on the homestead were the goats and the sheep. I was going to wait to breed the sheep until later, but I want to go ahead and get them in their winter housing and get all that set so that I am not dealing with them being free and in multiple places. Go ahead, know where their winter housing is, get that set up so that I am not having to deal with sheep being chased down. And the same way with our goats. The goats' winter housing is the same as their summer housing, except for they go into their winter pasture. You can see here that I love this. You guys get to see all of it. I don't know if you could tell, but Confetti was flagging there. She's wagging her tail a lot. She's rubbing up on Scorpio, our buck. One of our bucks. And yeah, I'm hoping they'll breed. You can see that he's mounting her. Don't want to put too much on YouTube. Don't want to get flagged for inappropriate content. But we went ahead and put the bucks in our big girls' winter housing. We have 2 sets of girls. We have the big girls, which consist of Confetti, who I have already had in milk. I bought her in milk. And it also consists of Corelle, who is her daughter, who is now a 1.5 years old and ready to be bred. The little girls for the goats are my adorable 2 Nubians, who somehow still have tiny horns, not sure about that, but they are too young to be bred. They were born in the spring, and we will have to wait until next year. My goal is to have babies in March, and based upon what I'm seeing, we should have babies. Now, I'm going to leave the bucks, so Scorpio and George, in the pen with my ladies for at least 2 heat cycles. I'd love for it to be 3. I really want to make sure they're bred this time. Last year we had problems with breeding, but this is their winter pen and winter pasture. And so they are here. They are here now. They are set up. I'm trying to get it all set up before we have any inkling of storms. I've had storms here in Michigan as soon as the middle of October. Obviously we're there right now, so that shouldn't be what we have, but it could be what we have. And I always just want to make sure that we are not running into the possibility of storms. I'm walking down the side of the bus to find, there's George! Georgie Smargie! Georgie! Come here, Georgie! Here comes George. I love George. And Hermione, what are you doing out here? Hello, lovely lady. She is by far my favorite. She is the sweetest doe, and yeah. As long as she is healthy and provides me with lots of babies, I will probably keep her forever. Hello, Corelle. Aren't you looking fine today? Actually, you are. You're looking good. Look how chunky you are. You're getting your winter coat in. There comes George. Now, George is a La Mancha, a mini La Mancha buck. And because he is a buckling, I don't expect we'll have anything from him this year. But I went ahead and put him in with Scorpio. Scorpio here, they said he might just not have enough, how to put it, competition to actually get the job done. Because last year he didn't do it. Now, he has bred before. He successfully had babies before, but that was with his own breed. Because it was with his own breed, it's possible that he's not tall enough. I don't think it's an issue. Honestly, I think it's fine. I just don't think he had enough competition and he was too quiet. And my girls weren't cycling strong enough. This is the most in heat I have seen Confetti. She is obviously flagging. She loves him. He is stinking her up though. Whew, these guys smell. But anyway, there's Georgie Smargie. George, how are you feeling? George is getting his winter coat and looks all spotty too. Now let's talk sheep. So we have 5 ewes and 1 ram. I am not convinced that we're going to keep the sheep. So for breeding and winter housing, which is kind of what we're discussing today, for winter housing, I am coming up with ideas. I don't know for sure what I'm going to do, but I know that I would like to put them in our actual barn. I'll show you where in a minute. But here they are, all looking good. I went ahead and put Hiccup in with the ladies. Now there's multiple reasons. One, because I was moving the boys. And I already wouldn't have a buddy for him and he could get lonely and problematic. Boys can be problems when they're alone. The other reason was because I would love lambs at the end of March, beginning of April. These lambs, we're going to have them in the field. The plan is to let them do all the lambing on their own. And I am thinking that I'm ready to, because I'm not sure how long we'll keep the sheep, I'm actually wanting to do what is considered a natural breeding program, which means that the ram is in with the ewes all the time. You cannot understand how excited I am that I am seeing Confetti heat cycle. She's really quiet when she's in heat, and I just never know, and I'm like, is she in heat or not? And this is just so good for me to see. So anyway, like I said, where I'd like to put the sheep for the winter is actually in a spot in our barn that is almost completely set up, ready to go. Let me take you in there now. I don't know what this space was used for before, but it has a door to the outside, plenty of inside space, and only a couple spots that I'd have to like use cattle panel or hog fencing to make it ready for sheep. It would take an afternoon, not even, to get this completely ready for sheep. This was used for animals, like it's got feeding troughs and stuff, so I know it could be possible. And then we would actually have their pasture. This is where the plan goes kind of awry. Over the top of one part of our driveway. Our driveway is very long and it goes around our barn, so we don't technically need this space. And I could get all this whole section here completely cleaned out by them. I don't know. So that's the one issue with the space. For a December to March deal, it may not be a problem, but it might be too. So I'm trying to figure out in my head, like I said, how do we do winter housing and breeding and make it good? I want it to be really positive for everyone involved, including my poor husband who has to clear the driveway of snow, so I have to make sure that there's no fencing issues with that and that the animals are able to be in a good space. For our chickens, they're going to stay in the housing that they're in. They're always in their winter housing. We don't really move them around. Ducks are the same way. Well, I'm back to the pig housing, and that's pretty much it on winter housing and how we do it. We do have a bit of work to do in here. One of the pins got busted on the concrete, and so we have to go take out the chunks of concrete, fill it in with crushed concrete, and then put wood chips and stuff over the top. And we'll do that. We'll actually move Pickles and her babies. They're so funny. These little ones are hilarious. They are so busy today. We'll move Pickles and her babies over to the smaller pen and get everyone up here. Like I said before, we do have a little bit of work we have to do before we can do that. But winter housing does not have to be hard. It doesn't have to be difficult. Deep bedding is what's important. Making sure for deep bedding, it can be many things. It can be wood chips and straw. It can be just wood chips. We've done both in the past. I actually like doing both. It holds the heat better to do both wood chips, typically wood chips on the bottom and then straw on the top. So we're working on making winter housing ready to go, but that gives you guys an idea of what we're doing for breeding and what we're doing for winter housing and how that is all gonna look in the future. I hope you enjoyed the quick farm tour for winter housing, and I'll see you guys next week.